Game on the line. Williams lofting one for a doozy. He caught
it! You're listening to the world's #1 football podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen, Matt Hartman, and Ryan Matthews.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project, episode 177, where we have some week 5 stuff to talk to you guys about after our weekly review and everything. So hopefully you guys are checking into those videos. But nonetheless, without further ado, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ryan. I'm so excited to talk some ball, talk some football. You were experimenting with a different ball today.
I was, yeah. Morale is very low in the Matthews household.
Dude, they can't hit the ball. They can't hit the ball.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, how do you go? Here's the thing. I'm optimistic about tomorrow.
They blacked out for a half inning in like the 5th inning in game 1, and like
yeah. I went into the game hoping that they would just finish the series because I know for a fact that like tomorrow's my first like day of the month, so I like need to like attack everything on all cylinders and make sure I'm selling and whatnot, right? But like I know if the Cubs are going to be playing at 2:08, I'm not going to be paying attention to anything sales wise, and I'm just going to be pushing things out the door, just keeping it honest. So it's like I'm kind of rooting for the Dodgers for once in my life so that they can at least start a little bit later. But like, my God, was I just hoping that they would just finish this thing. I purchased tickets yesterday during the game because I was like, this is a lot cheaper than I would have ever thought. I got 200 level seats right behind home plate in a perfect view of everything, just under the awning. It was a beautiful day outside. It was great. It was a great day to win a baseball game, and we didn't. So that sucked. Not only did we lose, but we got shut out. And yeah, that was bad. And then I stuck around Chicago to find this hat I was very, very satisfied with. So, you know, that was, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very selfish, and that's probably what contributed to the delay tonight. So I apologize, guys, but, you know, I needed something out of it if it wasn't going to be a win. So, you know, but anyways, Ben, how are we feeling?
Oh no, I'm feeling great. I'm actually gonna watch my Michigan college team play this week after a bye. Far less exciting than what you are. I mean, I get to root for a inner scrimmage squad. That's what I spent my baseball day doing. But I'm feeling fantastic. Just happy to be here with you guys. Matt, how are we doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Hey, oh, I forgot. I met Connor Bedard today. That was kind of cool. That was kind of, yeah. I don't know. To some people, he just looks like the average dude. So, but check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We checked it out. It was cool. It was a picture. It's so funny, dude.
He looks so off guard, dude.
Well, he was so off guard. The interaction went. I was like, Connor, can I get a picture? And he was like, oh, yeah, sure. And like, it just went over to me and was like, the Cubs suck. I have a game, like, I think it was a preseason game, like in a couple days or something like that at home. So like the dude's probably like, let me get out of here before people start to decide to leave because this team sucks. So like, I get it. And he probably did not want any fan interaction, but it was cool. It wasn't like a, oh my God, I love you so much. It was just like a, hey man, thanks for the picture. Good luck this season. And he said, thank you. And then that was it. So very, very small, but I'm telling everybody for the rest of my life that I met that dude. So yeah, we're best friends.
In the sake of being fully transparent, I had absolutely no clue. Like Ryan sent that photo and I'm like, all right, you just met a random like white dude there that you decided to take a photo with? Like, Who is this?
He looks like just like a normal kid too. So it's like, dude, why did you pull this kid aside to get a picture with him? Like, you freak. What's going on with you? So, anyways, Matt, what do we have in store for the people today, huh?
All right, talking about the show rundown. Obviously, we're going to go over the injury report, including why we have a flocking conundrum with the Baltimore Ravens. And then we're going to get into some debate time. All right, we're going to power rank top 5 teams in the AFC and the NFC. We're not going to combine them. Okay, we're not going to do top 10. We're not going to do top 32. Seems ridiculous.
My God.
But
yeah.
we will do top 5 in both the AFC and the NFC, so stick around for that. And then every week, games of the week. And then we talk about Pigskin Pick'em, Pigskin Payout, and then we swing into College Corner. So that is what is on the docket today. So without further ado, let's get right into injury report. Let's see here. Obviously, starting with the number one, Tyreek Hill, done for the season, dislocated his knee, multiple ligament fractures, or multiple ligament tears as well. So that
Most
one
disgusting I've seen in a long time. Just saying, that was gross.
Yeah, that one was not great looking, and I sent it to the chat. It had real Earl Thomas vibes, and if you don't get what I mean, it was kind of the opposite, where like Earl Thomas flipped off Pete Carroll, where Tyreek Hill was kind of like laughing, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's keeping his spirits up. That's good." The way I processed that was, I just tore up my leg, and I'm not going to play again because for an 0-3 team that didn't trade me when I wanted to be traded. That's how I took that. I could be.
I think that it's a little bit different. Now, people handle pain differently and kind of cope with it. And with that being said, some people kind of laugh through it. I think that it's a good thing that the guy was in good spirits. Obviously, he's in a lot of pain. I think a photographer got a pretty good close-up shot of that. I don't think by any means was he celebrating the injury. Now, here's what I will say. From experience tearing one of the ligaments that he tore, so I can't really, speak on all of them because he tore like everything. The pain goes away, and you feel like it's a easier injury than what it could have been. And because of that, the adrenaline and everything going into it, you got to keep in mind, when I tore my ACL, I'm in the middle of a high school audience compared to Tyreek Hill, who's at home on prime time against, I don't know, a division rival, you know what I mean? And he just made a catch and everything. So it's like, the adrenaline's going. The pain level isn't as high as it was when he was carted off. But it's definitely still there. Can't stress that enough. But regardless, and I'm only saying this because, if there's ever a slight chance of that experience being the same as mine, I would argue that, I think the trainers would have said something along the lines of like, you're going to be okay, because there are very serious leg injuries that could be very costly and impact your life in a great way. We saw this almost with Zach Miller, the tight end for the Bears, after his horrific injury against the Saints. They almost had to amputate it. So like, it could be worse.
Artery related. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, all of that being said, this is a positive that he could be celebrating, just because it could have been a lot worse. And when you see your leg pointing a completely different direction than what it was 5 seconds ago, you're probably thinking the worst because, this hurts, and it's not supposed to look that way. So like, hey, we're going to get some tests done on this and everything, but I think you're going to be all right, is probably what he could be celebrating. But I don't want to look at it in the light of like, yes, I don't have to play for this team anymore, because I feel like that's just more of the comedic way of thinking about it. And people are kind of memeing it out to be, but I don't know. Ben, are you here, man? What are you thinking?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Tyreek Hill, is he celebrating the injury, or is he celebrating being okay? Or what do you think he's celebrating when he was smiling on the cart?
He's celebrating that Tua's not his quarterback anymore. That's what it's like. I mean, like immediately, like regardless of everything that has happened, he was laughing and smiling. There's a video that went viral of him like in the ambulance, like getting like pumped and happy. He's happy that he's gonna have to play for Tua, and it sounds like you're trying to be optimistic about it and trying to put a spin on it and whatnot, which good for you. But he's made it very well known that he just does not want to have Tua throw him the football anymore. And I really think it was he just is happy that he does not have to deal with Tua anymore. And as sad as that is, that's really what I think is what happened.
I just don't.
What?
I think that's him. All right.
Did I lose you guys? Hold on a second. I apologize.
No.
Apparently my PC can't take any kind of bandwidth because I'm like looking up reports and stuff. But anyways, what I was saying was I just don't think that it could have been to that level in terms of like I hate this guy so much that I would totally take a devastating injury and tear all of my ligaments in my knee and go through several months of rehab just so that I don't have to catch a. Oh, come on. Are you serious? Hold on a second. If you guys can hear me, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. Okay. My PC just like crashed and then came back up. You guys get my point. He's not angry to that level, I don't think. Who knows? I'm not Tyreek Hill, and my PC doesn't want to work all of a sudden. So, hey, in the scenario I exit the stream, I will be back. But like, I don't know. There's a system update and stuff that's pending and everything. So just technical difficulties on my side, apparently. But I know my guys will keep us on track. It'll be all right. Unlike Tyreek Hill's ligaments, we'll be fixed and it'll be okay. Anyways.
Oh, my God.
This is true. We spent way too much on that one.
I'm so sorry.
Neighbors out for the year with a torn ACL. That one was a bummer. We talked about that on the recap. Joe Alt left with a high ankle sprain, so that was confirmed. Doesn't seem to be going to IR if he has already. Jalen Ramsey hurt his hamstring injury, so he's going to miss several games. Colton Miller went to IR with a high ankle sprain. Cedric Tillman, the Browns receiver, went to IR with a hamstring injury. Bucky Irving is in a walking boot, so his status for Sunday is up in the air, were the quotes that I read. Trey Benson went to IR today. That was apparently he had a meniscus, repair surgery in the last 6 days that no one knew about. And then lastly, before we get into Baltimore, the Lions corner DJ Reed went to IR. I didn't see what the injury was, but I know he did go to IR. So that was the last of the injury report. And then you get into Baltimore, just the Ravens. Their quarterback's hurt. Lamar Jackson, the guy who's two-time MVP, he's going to miss a few weeks with a hamstring injury. Nnamdi Madubuike, who's one of their highest-paid players, one of the best interior defensive linemen in football, he's out for the season with a neck injury. He went to IR last Friday, and then they ruled him out for the year Monday morning, I believe. Roquan Smith, he has a grade 2 hamstring strain, so he's going to miss multiple weeks. Marlon Humphrey has a calf injury. He's going to miss a few weeks. And then Nate Wiggins, no status on him yet. He left with an elbow injury. And at this time, I did not see any injury timetable. I don't know if he practiced today. But, yeah, Baltimore, 1-3. And 4 of their highest paid players are all not finishing games in week 4. Not ideal. Not ideal. And with that, swinging from Baltimore, let's swing into the debate portion of our show. This is where we are going to power rank the top 5 teams in each conference. I'm going to start with the NFC because I had an easier time with the NFC than the AFC. I don't know if you guys agree with that. But I'm going to start with my NFC power rankings. I had 7 teams that I truly, truly considered for this exercise. I'll start with number 1. I think it's still Philly. I think Philly is still the best team in football period. They're 4-0, and they continue to win without like a real drop back passing game. So again, it's about finding ways to get victories, and this is a team with a championship pedigree and the ability to continue to be there. Um, I don't want to be the guy that's just like, well, 4-0, it is what it is. But they're not beating like slouches either. They've beaten Kansas City. They just beat Tampa Bay. They beat the Rams, who we will talk about. And even like Dallas is explosive on offense, and they weren't explosive against Philly. So, yeah, this one was pretty easy for me. What did you guys think about that?
Yep. I have them at 2. I just want to say this is
Oh.
a really boring.
In the NFC?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I know they're undefeated, but there's not a lot of difference between 1 and 2, and strictly because they're power rankings, or I guess top 5 or whatever you want to say. Right now, there's a team that I believe is better or playing better right now than the Eagles. There's a level of play that the Eagles can have and are expected to have, and they just haven't reached that yet. I don't know why. If they open up the playbook, they'll absolutely be number 1 on my list. I think they absolutely can. However, right now they're not, and they're playing very dangerous football. The fact that they've been in a couple games where it's like, can they squeeze this one out? Like, they should have lost against the Rams, but they didn't, and that's awesome. Congratulations, you blocked a field goal. My team just did this past week. We probably should have lost that game. I'm sure, Ben, you probably feel the same way. You picked the Rams to win that game. So my thing is like, there's games in which you should be winning, and when you see that second half Jalen Hurts, oh man, he could throw the ball, and look at AJ Brown, explosive, and look at all these explosive pass plays, but we're going to run the ball on first down with Saquon Barkley, who has the second worst yards per carry in the league. We are going to throw a screen pass on second down, and then we're going to run the ball on third down, and then when we get really close to the first down line, we'll do a tush push, and then it's such a gross offense to watch. It's so boring to me. Whatever, but it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. My number 1 team is the Lions. I'll get to it after Ben gets to his point.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. I could understand if it was the Lions, and I'm right there with you. 1 for me is the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles fan has the Eagles the number 1 team in the NFC. To me, again, I don't know if dangerous football is the way to put it, because it's quite opposite of dangerous with how the playbook is. They're too
He's
cautious.
saying the outcomes.
But yes.
Yes.
I get what he is saying.
They're just teetering on that line. Why were we playing with that? Just play to win.
City all over.
Like, well, my thing is I'm sorry, Ben, to cut you off. I am so sorry about that, but I'll make this point quick. When you go to the Super Bowl and you play to completely curb stomp your opponent, why stop at the regular season following that? You just completely
your
decimated.
Coordinator got hired to be a head coach somewhere.
So why is this offense only working when you unleash it? And you're texting us in the group chat like, open the playbook. And when they do open the playbook, it works. So my thing is like, why are we stopping this? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong by any means. I'm just saying, like, why not be that team that can go ahead and drag its nuts against whoever plays them? Like, at the end of the day, you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You're the Super Bowl champions. If you can go ahead and kill these teams, why not do it every single week? I don't get it. But instead, it's like, let's run the ball and be this boring offense. I get that. That's fine. But I'm just saying, when you know that they're not doing something, and not to mention it's making the people in the locker room affected as well, like, you're not trending in a good direction. Just make it easy on yourself and do a little bit more. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, let's throw everything out the door on week 4, but like, I want to see like more fight, I guess. Cause this is just like, we're the Eagles and we're good and we'll get by and then we'll win because, we're the Eagles, but it's like, you can win by more, like win by more.
I agree. Again, obviously, I wish they would open up the playbook a little bit more. Kevin Petullo's a weenie, but at the end of the day, they're 4-0, and they're the only team in the NFC that's 4-0, and they've proven that they can win against very, very good teams. That's why they're number 1. But for the same reason that you had the Lions at number 1, is the same reason that I'm going to have them here at number 2. I think again, all of the concerns that anyone had going into the season about Dan Campbell losing his coordinators and it affecting them is out the window. This team is picking it up right where they had left off last year. The Lions are looking just as good. And I, to be frank, wouldn't really want to look forward to playing them to begin with. So Lions are number 2 for me. So I'm right there with you.
I'm just saying, just to make a quick point, I mean, outside of that week one, let's iron all of this out, right? You had a really good get-back game against my Bears, scoring 52 points in that game and only allowing 21. And then you go into Baltimore and you score 38 to their 30, and then you win against the Browns 34-10. This is the reckless, I'm going to kill you kind of team that I think Philly can be.
The Bears, the Browns, and the Ravens that are
Ravens
proven not be good. The Ravens haven't been good. They have not been good. Whether what we think about the Ravens going into the season in our views, I was the one who said they were going to win the Super Bowl. They have not played like that. They have not been a good team. Versus the Eagles, all 4 of their matchups have been against at least playoff hopeful teams. But again, I'm with you. I don't want to take away and discredit the Lions because I think the Lions, again, are the number 2 team for me in the NFC.
We're arguing 1 and 2.
Are they number 2 for you, Matt?
No, they're at 4.
Wow.
I have 2 through 4 very close together, and they just ended up being my 4th team, kind of based on that fact of I don't know what they look like at full strength. Like Aleem McNeil is working himself back. The offensive line is still getting to a place where I don't feel comfortable with it yet. Overall, the number 2 team is the Packers to me. It still is, because this is the team that demolished the Lions. And I know the last few weeks for the Packers have not gone their way in terms of results. They get bullied against the Browns, and that's a problem. And they're able to, give up 40 points to a really good offense in Dallas. And, you play to a tie. But this is still a team that's, second in EPA per play and second in dropback EPA. They're 16th in defensive EPA. I still, they have 10 great players on defense. They need to find out who their CB2 is. And somehow, that's not a Keyshawn Nixon problem. That dude's awesome. He's been tremendous this year. So I still have Green Bay here. Maybe I'm valuing the overall result of the game, but that game was just so stark that it is a massive data point for me in ranking these teams right now.
I mean, I have them at 3, so I can absolutely see why you have them at 2. So
I don't have them on my list at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so frustrated with that team, man, and I understand, Bears fan, whatever. You tied against the Cowboys, you losers. I can't.
You're talking
that was such a good game.
Team,
they just got killed by the Bears. What are we talking about? Their defense is horrible. What are we talking about? They silenced Micah Parsons. He had 1 sack on the day, and even then it was a trick.
That was a DAT game. I stand by that one. I will fight tooth and nail. Those were 2 quarterbacks playing out of their minds.
1 week from the Packers that impressed me, and that was week 1. Since then, I'm not seeing it. And I don't care if you guys think that I'm seeing through rose-colored glasses or not. I'm not putting them on my list.
I'm excited to see what 4 teams you have over them. I'm
so
interested.
Who do you have at number 3, Ryan?
The Rams. I have the Rams.
Same. I do also have the Rams.
Yeah. I have the Rams at 4. I'm glad we're all
yeah.
The same page.
They're a top 5
Take
team.
it away with the Rams, Ryan.
Puka Nacua, man. He's been awesome this season. And I mean, I have him on both teams, I think, on my fantasy team. So, profiting. I mean, not money, but I'm getting something out of this. So, Yeah. I mean, it's been a fun offense to watch, and I feel like they're one of those teams that's like you really can't count them out of any game. And I'd take them over a large percent of these teams in the league right now. They were one game away from the NFC Championship, given it was a snow game and it was one of the most disgusting NFC Championships, or I mean, one game away from the Super Bowl, but you know what I meant, I think. Wait, Super Bowl, NFC Championship. I was right.
Mhm.
Anyways, I know that was last year's team, but I think that what they're doing this year is still very good. They're a very fun team to watch. And I mean Stafford, he's been doing really good to me. So I don't know, Rams at 3, just keep it simple. Oh, that young D line, by the way, big fan. I don't know.
Yeah. Jared versus he's going to be on that ballot for the defensive player of the year. He's been unbelievable this year, but so is the entire defense. The defense ranks 5th in EPA per play. I talked about them last year how cheap they are on the defensive end, and so them to be able to keep hitting on these guys in that back end, mostly like that defensive line that you just talked about, they have just so many dudes. They're second in drop back EPA, and then their offense, it is what it is. Like, and that's a good thing. That's not like a knock in a way. So like, you know what Stafford is, you know what Kyron Williams is going to give you, and having Puka off to the start that he's at, and just like this is exactly how I would want to mix in Devontae Adams into this offense, just being big body, contested catch, red zone player. It's been really, really good. So yeah, that's why they're absolutely in my top 3.
Yes. So we know who my 1 through 4 is. We know who Matt's 1 through 4 is. Who's your 4th, Ryan?
Seahawks.
I have them 5th.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to dive into them too much either. They're just a fun team for me to watch. And to be honest with you, that secondary, or not secondary, but just defense as a whole has really surpassed my expectations going into the season for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, hey, I think this is for sure a playoff team. We're talking wild card for sure, but I think that they can compete for the division as well. I would love to put the 49ers on this list or not, but like, I think a healthy 49ers team would be for sure, just as the Ravens would be as well if they were healthy.
Yeah, it looks like I'm the odd man out here, and I'm the one who does not have the Seahawks on this list. I will say Seahawks would be number 6 for me. I'll make it quick. I'm sure that my 6 is probably Ryan's 5 and is probably yours 6 here. My 5th is the Buccaneers. They were one very close game away from winning and being 4-0 in their own right, being higher on everyone's list if they were able to do that. But I've just been impressed with the grit on this team, and obviously a lot of that stems from who's playing quarterback for them. But they have just shown the ability through the first 4 weeks, obviously outside of week 4, to win close games and to make plays when it matters the most. Despite Mike Evans being down, we were all shocked when Emeka Ibuka was the pick, but it is looking like it is paying off in plentyfuls with how well he's looked. And their defense isn't amazing, and I know they have a little bit of injuries, but it's not a defense by any means to scoff at. So that's why they're number 5 for me. And again, Seahawks would have been number 6. So
yeah, the Bucks are not my number 5. So just to round out, not repeat anything you were saying, Lions, Eagles, Rams, Seahawks, Bucks were my list. And that could very much change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's only week. We've only seen 4 weeks of football here, folks.
Mine are. Just you wait till this Bears run they're about to have. It's gonna be great.
I have Eagles at 1, Lions at 2, Packers at 3, Rams at 4, and Bucks at 5. Seahawks just missed the list at number 6. But if you want to run through your 1 through 5, Matt, and then obviously we know 6 for you is the Bucks, but then there's one more team it seems like we've left out.
Yeah, I have Philly 1, Green Bay 2, Rams 3, Lions 4, Seahawks 5, Buccaneers 6 and 7. Just because we don't have enough data on them this season, I have Commanders here because I think there is a world where their quarterback is the best in the conference, and he has the floor-raising ability of bringing this offense to a level that is top 5 in the conference. Like, even if the defense continues to sputter the way that it is sputtering, they're 24th in EPA per play. Right now, they are a top 5 rush offense by any metric. So imagine, and that's with, 2 games of Jaden Daniels, and one of those, like, he has a knee sprain against Green Bay. So, like, if you could mix him in and keep the explosiveness, like, I think this is going to sound bad, but, like, the best case scenario is, like, you don't have to play Eckler as much anymore because you're going to mix in so much more explosive juice in the backfield. So I'm just entertained to see how, Bill progressive, how Chris Rodriguez continues to be, like, this red zone back. Like, I think their rush offense is really, really good, and Daniels provides a floor in a drop back game that they're never going to be in a hard down. Like, even when he gets sacked, it's like sacked for 2 yards instead of 8. So I think there's still so much data to be collected on the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels seems to be progressing to be back this week in one of our games. But
yes,
Yep.
The one thing in terms of the Commanders that does scare me is, you gloss over it just a little bit, is that defense. That defense frightens me to no end, and that's why I just didn't talk about them, because as great as Jaden Daniels and that offense can be, it worries me because that defense will keep them in games that they just shouldn't be. Given it could be a different game if Jaden Daniels was playing last week, but even if Jaden Daniels was playing last week, that wouldn't have stopped the Falcons from putting up 35-plus points on them. And that's my concern. And Jaden Daniels will be able to keep them in those shootouts if they need to, but when push comes to shove, when they really need it, I don't know if they'll be able to get the big-time stop.
Completely
Old.
agree. It's just it's
Yeah.
They were bad last year. I know that's bad process to just be like, well, they could just provide to be bad again, but I think Jaden's one of those guys, man. So we'll see.
Hopefully.
We'll see how that goes.
Last year's quarterback class looks really good right now. I just want to say, like, we're talking NFC quarterbacks right now, but, like, you take the top 3 especially, you know what I mean? And I know I'm biased with Caleb. You can say what you want, but, like, best touchdown to interception ratio and number 1 or NFL history by a number 1 overall quarterback. But anyways, I'm just saying Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels looking really good. That's fun. Good for them.
Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix bad.
Nix.
Spencer Rattler good.
I don't know about Bo Nix right now, man. We're gonna dive into the AFC though. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm
All
excited.
right. Let's get into the AFC. Number 1, I have Buffalo. The wagon that is the Buffalo Bills. They are dominant in metrics on offense. They're first in EPA per play, they're first in dropback EPA, and they're first in rush EPA. That's pretty good company. The only thing with this team is, well, they just had a team who's 0-4 rushed for almost 200 yards on them. So
yeah, did you think you were going to win that game? Because I thought there was like, oh crap, is there a chance that we could pull an any given Sunday? That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. And so I think that's, again, is that just the state of, well, Ed Oliver's out, and Matt Milano's out. We'll figure it out. But, like, when you're grading on a curve with some of these teams, like Philly, like, the reason, Ryan, you likely have them at 2, contrarian to 1, is because you put them at a Super Bowl standard. And so Buffalo is kind of in that same realm where, like, I'm going to be harsh on your rush defense being, 28th in rush EPA and 21st in rush success rate. There's just no one else in this conference that I think is better than them, just because I think the offense in Josh Allen is that overwhelming right now. But that's something to watch out with this Bills team. Like, if teams continue to pop like 150 on them in the run game, there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to top 5 lists, right, everybody's got their own kind of standards that you have to meet. So you're absolutely right. And to me, like, there's fun to watch and good fun to watch. You know how there's like that chart where it's like good and fun to watch, and then it's like fun to watch, and it's like not fun to watch at all and horrible, and then it's like not good
Yeah.
but fun to watch. Yeah, you know, the Lions for my NFC rankings were in that fun to watch and good. So congrats, you got the number 1 spot. But when it comes to the Bills, absolutely, like, you know, they got it, man. They've got it. And I was a little worried. I'm not going to lie. Like, just this past week, like I had said, when the Saints were keeping up with them, like, that's not good. You know what I mean? But every team stumbles. You know what I mean? They do it every year. It's Buffalo. I mean, you know, there's their trends and they do their own things. But I mean, as far as the Bills and what they've done in the first 4 weeks, yeah, they're number 1 for sure. Tell you what, though, my number 2, I don't know, Ben, I'll let you talk and everything, but my number 2 I was not expecting on this list at all this season, but we'll see if you guys have them too.
No, I mean, you guys have said everything that I would have wanted to say about the Bills. So I mean, we'll jump into my number 2. I expected this team to be good. I did not expect this team to be this good. And yes, they just lost to a quarterback playing in his first ever start ever. I don't care. For me, the number 2 team in the AFC is the Chargers. And they played like that. When the offense is humming, there's not really many better offenses in the league than that, given we finally saw a team that could slow them down. And the defense is still a very good defense in their own right. And I just think it's a combination of explosive offense and serviceable defense, and that's why they find themselves here at 2 in my AFC power rankings.
Matt?
I completely disagree. I have them at 4. I think I'm much lower on the offense than I think most people are. I think that's the stopping point, because I can't get behind this offensive line. I can't do it. I don't. They're 25th in rush EPA. Without, and now you're telling me they're going to lose Joe Alt, who is like stepping in at left tackle this season. They're not, they're middle of the pack in drop back stuff, and I think that's like that's sampling the last 2 weeks more so than the first 2 weeks, because Denver really put up a fight and beat the hell out of Herbert. Herbert was hit like 13 times in that game, and then he was also hit like almost double-digit times against the Giants. So again, like it's an offensive line problem for me, but the defense puts them on the list for me. They're 4th because I think what Minner does on this defensive side of the ball, like he single-handedly won that Raiders game. You could have like told me like the Chargers didn't trot out an offense in the second half and they would have won the football game. Like that's how good they were. And so yeah, I think I'm much lower on the offense, but the defense is as advertised, and that's why I have them at 4.
Yeah, I'll play the happy medium. I've actually got him at 3. I mean, there's something about Justin Herbert that makes Keenan Allen fun again. So, like, maybe it's the fact that he's playing, MVP level baseball.
He can operate on time.
Baseball, football, still in the baseball mind, but football. So I'm happy that the Chargers look good, strictly for the fact that they're in a tough division. They have to compete twice against the Chiefs every year, and so with that, I'm like closeted Chargers fan. For those of you that have been listening for a while, I'm looking forward to seeing what this team could do down the stretch. But yeah, I've got them at 3 right now. I'll just throw my number 2 out there since I teased it. I have the Colts. That's my number 2 team. Right now, I'll tell you, I've been really hesitant within the last few episodes to pick them in literally anything, and it's just because they're the Colts and Daniel Jones is their quarterback. However, they looked really, really good with these past 4 weeks. And I know, the Rams, like I said, they're number 3 in my NFC list, and I would argue the NFC is more competitive than the AFC for once. But, with the Colts and how they've been doing. They competed against that Rams team. They beat that Broncos team. It's like I take them over a lot as well. They're really, really fun. They figured it out a little bit. And I think Tyler Warren adds a lot to that as well, which is really good for them. He was one of those players I was really looking forward to seeing how he does in the league, and it's working out for them. Colts fans deserve that as well. If you guys remember the ending to the season last year, people, selling their tickets at a, record low price. You could sit behind the the bench for like $150 in week 18, and Pat McAfee wasn't in his suite and stuff. So it's like they're able to figure something out, and it's fun. I don't know how it works because you've got Daniel Jones, but you're doing it. Congrats. Welcome to the top 5 list for this month. Who knows?
Ben, where'd you have the Colts?
I had the Colts at 3. So I had obviously the Bills and Chargers. Colts at 3. So I'm not too far off of where Ryan views them. Who's your number 2 team, Matt?
The Kansas City Chiefs. Because I know what I'm getting. I'm getting the best quarterback in the world. And they just got I think it's
Bro, he's short-circuited.
I said on the recap show after week 3 that I didn't want to judge this offense until one of these guys comes back, and talking Worthy and talking Rice. Worthy being back made so much of a difference. I thought he'd be a fine pro. I didn't realize he'd be this much in creating space. And maybe this is a Ravens problem. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing where I'm reading into Ravens games and reading into what they did against a bad defense. But they're still 7th in EPA per play. They're still 7th in dropback EPA. They're middle of the pack in rushing just because, Mahomes is, Mahomes is scrambled. Mahomes leads the team in rush yards because of how, efficient he's been on scrambles. So, again, there is still so much to go. But overall, I just know what the Chiefs are. And then the defensive side of the ball, the numbers aren't good. They're 20th in EPA per play. They're 31st in rush EPA. They're bad on the rushing side of the ball. But having Spags be able to do what he can do against Lamar Jackson, when's the last time we saw Lamar Jackson look like that? They have a defensive coordinator who can make one of those quarterbacks look like that. So, again, I'm still... Maybe the personnel is lacking in comparison to some of these teams, but at the same time, I argue it's not. Because, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting the team that made the Super Bowl 3 straight times, and they still have, the quarterback and the coaching combo.
I have them at 4. I wanted to have them a lot higher. I definitely did want to have them a lot higher. And if they continue to play the way that they did against the Ravens, they will absolutely find themselves as the number 2 team in the AFC. But until I can see it consistently, and all I have is the first 4 weeks to judge off of them, they will find themselves at 4. And again, given we had seen how well they can play when they have someone that can stretch the field, and that they played great against the Ravens, and that was without Rashid Rice. And I can't imagine the element that he's going to add to that offense. And I think we're going to slowly see them get right back up to the way that we had seen the Chiefs over the last 5 years or whatnot. But I need to see it more consistently. And if we're going based off of the first 4 weeks, they will only be at 4 for me.
I don't have them on my list.
Really? It was hard for me to find a 5th team. It was really hard for me to find a 5th team.
Yeah. No, I've already said Bills, Colts, Chargers. Jaguars are my number 4 team. Ranking 2nd in defensive EPA per play. And then for the offense, ranking 16th as well. Now I know the Chiefs, you know what I mean? They rank 7th in offensive EPA per play, 20th in defensive EPA per play. You know who's right underneath them, by the way? The Bears. That's fun. So my thing is hey, everybody knows the Bears has a horrible defense. I'm going to picture them in the same exact way. It's really not a great great look.
But
It's
you
not too
can't
different.
do that.
I'm
You
going
can't-
to.
one
I'm
has
going
You
to.
can't
Andy
do
Reid
that.
I'm
when
going
you're
to.
just
No, I'm
watching-
going to.
Mahomes.
I'm
Or
going
have
to because
10
EPA per
points
play is
against the
it's
Steelers.
subjective and the dumbest stat I've ever heard. We're doing it so much on this podcast, and it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's so subjective. It depends on what website you're using and what you're doing, but it's so subjective. You want to play EPA? We're gonna play EPA. That's fine. They're
But
one
that's-
spot ahead of the Bears. It's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing ever. No, that's stupid. You have the Bills, Colts, Chargers, Jaguars, and I'm putting the Broncos over them too. These 5 teams are all better than the Chiefs, and I'm tired of thinking that they're not. Now the Chiefs
Broncos?
next time, the Broncos are absolutely better than the Chiefs. Just wait till they play them. But here's the thing.
Okay.
They will be on this list later on the season because Rashee Rice is going to be in one way, shape, or form
Well,
healthy again within the next couple weeks, reinstated within the next couple weeks. It'll be fine. The Chiefs are going to be fine. Can we have one freaking list without the Chiefs on it, please? For the love of God.
no.
Whether you want to say that I'm
No.
fulfilling some kind of
No.
agenda or what, but my
No.
thing is like, dude, no. This team is not great. They started
Here-
rough.
Because they have 2 losses in the
regardless.
column.
Here's my
Dude, look at the rest
issue.
of them. The
Here's
Jaguars
my
are 3-1.
issue.
Are we doing record win loss, or are we doing better teams? This makes no
Neither.
sense.
That's why it's the power rankings. We're not going based off of the record. Into your EPA.
Why are the Eagles number 1 in the
subjective,
NFC?
dude,
It makes no sense.
because they're a good football team and beat 4 straight teams that are good. That's besides the point. Anyways, we're not talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the Chiefs. And you want to talk about EPA being a subjective stat and you don't like it, all that garbage.
It's the dumbest
Sure.
thing I've ever heard.
I
It's
agree.
so subjective.
EPA is not absolutely.
It's
I
not
think
reliable
EPA is
in
a
this
great
sense.
stat. EPA is not the end all be all, and that's the point. EPA isn't the end all be all, and that's why the Chiefs should be on this list. Because at the end of the day, they have one of the best head coaches in the history of the NFL. They have one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, and they have the best quarterback in the NFL. So throw to your point, EPA, whatever you want to say about EPA, whether you like it or don't like it, that is why the Chiefs should be on this list. Because I think we can all agree on that Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks, Andy Reid is one of the best head coaches, and Spags is one of the best DCs. Period.
I'm tired of making excuses for this team. It's ridiculous. We're going to follow EPA for every other statistic, for everything else that we do, damn near. But the one time that it doesn't fit the Chiefs narrative, we're going to be, oh, well, EPA is subjective and everything like that as well. And we're going to say, oh, well, you're right to say that. But that's exactly why we're putting the Chiefs on it, is because it is subjective. But it's like, no, there's better teams in the NFL than the Chiefs. It's not all centered around the Chiefs. That's BS. It's garbage. This team, I mean, look at, okay, if you want to do EPA, then Mahomes is mid. He's at 14. Congratulations. You're 2 spots away from Tyrod Taylor. What do you want? Minimum place 64. What are we doing here? Like, congratulations, best quarterback in the league, right? That's so dumb to me.
EPA. That's the whole thing.
We're not
bringing
it up.
The argument
We
off
keep
of
bringing
EPA.
it up. It's so dumb.
EPA is a catch-all stat. It's useful, but it's not the end-all be-all, and that's why the Chiefs are ranked as where they are with us.
We're relying way too much on it. I mean, I don't want to. It's fine. But I don't know.
I want to hear the Broncos argument.
The Broncos defense is really, really good. That's primarily where I'm at with that. With the Broncos, when it comes to their defense, right? I mean, their rush defense is really good, and I was gonna get later on in the episode, but we're talking about our matchups of the week and stuff, not to steal your thunder or anything like that, because we will talk about it. But because of that rush defense, I'm really looking forward to the Broncos and Eagles game, and what they're able to do, because I feel like they're going to pull that out of Jalen Hurts this week in terms of opening up the playbook and make him throw the ball a little bit more. And not to mention, like I said, Bo Nix to me is still wishy-washy. I don't know if I'm in or out on him. He had a really good year last year, but they have a really good coach that can get him there. And not to mention, I mean, I do believe in Cortland Sutton, even though, I mean, I traded him away in fantasy, but like, I do believe in his ability to be that guy. But I am a believer in this team, and I think that they're good enough to be number 5 in the AFC right now. Now, I will tell you this, in the scenario, the Ravens weren't like, if they didn't lose Lamar Jackson, they would be on this list and the Broncos would not be. You know what I mean? There is a Ravens size hole in this list for me. Absolutely, they would be.
The Ravens would
The
be
defense is
number 5.
good enough. The defense is good enough to justify it.
I think
so. I think. I mean, I said it in the preseason. I think that, overall, this is the most complete roster in the NFL, in my opinion.
After the injuries, we have to take that.
No.
Account
I'm saying like before the injuries, talking about on paper, right? Like they were the most complete team on paper to me. They're not healthy right now and they're not playing well, so they're not on the top 5 list for me. But what I'm saying is, in the scenario they'd absolutely be on this list. And I feel like the injury bug is hindering this team in their ability to, compete in more games. I think in my opinion, even though that started rocky, I think the Ravens could have found a way to beat the Chiefs last weekend, where, unfortunately that's not the way to go about it.
But Lamar playing, like, it's
I'm past that right now. I mean, I'm just saying I think they could have found a way to do that. I think they could have found a way. We saw, I mean, crazier things happen recently. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I think that the Broncos are good. I don't know. I'm past this.
All right.
The Broncos, I'll say Broncos are number 5 for me because I do like their defense. I do have a lot of concerns about Bo Nix, but that's what I was saying. I struggled finding a 5th team. There was not a 5th team in the AFC that I was like, yes, I feel confident about where I'm ranking them here. So I just defaulted to, I like their defense. So they found their way into number 5 for me because I do like their defense. That rounds out my list. We'll finish yours out here, Matt. Mine's Bills at 1, Chargers at 2, Colts at 3, Chiefs at 4, Denver Broncos at 5.
I had Jacksonville at 5, just because I think what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball is real right now. It's real for the first 4 weeks, and that's what I feel like we're ranking. So again, I think the offense is not going to get to a place where it's, prolific top 8, just because I don't think, it doesn't seem like they have the horses. Seems like we overestimated what a Brian Thomas Jr. breakout could look like if that is a 1,600-yard receiver. And Travis Hunter is just not getting mixed into the offense in a way that I feel like they, ideologize, how they kind of vision, I guess, because they're at this point, I think they're really, really close to pulling the plug, and he's just going to play quarter the rest of the year. So again, I'm interested in them. They're very close to the Broncos. I don't see the vision with the offense right now, and that's because I'm lower on the quarterback at the NFL level. That's kind of it. Yeah. I think the quarterback struggles against pressure, and I can't get the Tennessee game out of my mind, where it's it's malfunctioning. It's like Wentz's malfunctionings. I see so many similarities in this Vikings and Broncos team that I don't think I'm going to get there, especially this year. But maybe. But my list rounds out to be number 1, the Buffalo Bills, the number 2, Kansas City Chiefs, number 3, the Indianapolis Colts, the 4, Los Angeles Chargers, 5, Jacksonville Jaguars, and then just missed the cut. I did put the Steelers also on here. So no, not a fan.
No.
They've lost 1 game. It's tricky because I looked at that. I'm like, ew, they've only lost 1 game. They've flown under my radar because it's I'm trying really hard not to watch that team. It's kind of one of those gross rosters that it's ugh. You got the Steelers.
I hate it because they just keep doing the Steelers thing. They just keep winning these games that are just so goofy. Like they beat the Jets in week 1 after Boswell makes like a 60-yard field goal and they get that stop, and then they beat they beat New England because they have 4 forced fumbles, including one in the end zone. Like, just a crazy team. But hey, they're winning games, and they just beat a really good defense in Minnesota.
They did. Yeah. I
I
mean,
want them to be included.
in my opinion, they've played two, two good teams, and hold on a minute. Sorry, my connection's bugging out. 2 to maybe 3, depending on how you feel about the Patriots. Patriots, in my opinion, are like up and coming. They're going to be really good really soon. I'm not saying like this season per se.
I
like,
just don't think they have the horses this season. I agree with
not
you
this season. Yeah, I'm just saying like Drake May, he's the guy. Like, congrats New England. This guy's really good. But like when they get that guy, like you remember when Philly, I mean Ben remembers, but like you remember when Philly got AJ Brown and you're like, here we go. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of feeling I'm waiting for New England to get, and I would assume that happens within the next couple of years for when they buy into that team. They have the coach now, you know what I mean, in my opinion. So, but regardless, like you had said, the Steelers, they beat the Jets, beat the Vikings. So in my opinion, they lost against the Seahawks, and that was really ugly. I'm looking at that right now. But I mean, they beat the Patriots, and I think that the Patriots are hanging in with a lot of good teams as well. I mean, we'll see how they do against the Bills this week. But yeah, I don't know. Fun stuff.
All depends on if they can run the ball. But that is all for the debate segment. Had some fun. Had some heated moments.
Lots of fun.
But
Yes.
we move on to weekly scheduled programming. Let's get into the Week 5 preview, starting with the games of the week and the number 1 game of the week. We always start with Thursday Night Football. The Niners travel to Los Angeles to face the Rams in a game that it's taken some steam off of it with the recent announcements of Brock Purdy is out, Ricky Pearsall is out, and Jawan Jennings, who was asked after Week 4, do you think the injury is going to affect his status for Week 5? He said, nah, he's out this week. So it did affect his status. But that was interesting to note. The Rams relatively healthy. Tyler Higbee's like the only one who's really on the cuff here. But do we have anything to really hit on this game too hard?
The Rams are just gonna run over the Niners. I mean, your one hope when playing the Rams is like, oh, well, maybe Matt Stafford, he's getting a little old, pocket mobility with his back, and make him make throws that are not ideal. But since Bosa's been out, they have not been able to get any pressure, and that would be your only hype or your only hope if you were a Niners fan. And you can't even really hang your hat on that. I really, really think that the Rams are just going to run away with this game and absolutely steamroll this. And that was, even if Brock Purdy was playing this game, I still would have been saying the same exact thing here right now. So
the one thing I want to note is the wide receiver room that they're walking into this game with. Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, MVS, Sky Moore, and Russell Gage. I was a Russell Gage believer a couple of years ago, if you guys remember that, before the leg injury. I don't know. I think he had like one good game for the Falcons, and I'm like, this guy is good now. And then it was, just kind of a mindset that I adapted. But yeah, this is not something that you want. And by the way, is Brock Purdy healthy? I think he's questionable.
No,
right?
he's not playing.
No, he's not playing.
He's not playing. Oh, that was 7 hours ago. Awesome. I'm very out of the loop on any news that happened today. Obviously busy, but that's a problem in itself. I don't know. I think Mac Jones is a good backup, but like with that wide receiver core, that doesn't help.
Jacob Cowing breakout game is what I'm hearing.
Oh, jeez. Gee whiz. My matchup for this game, how do the Niners generate pressure? Their first game without Nick Bosa against the Jaguars had an 18.8% blitz rate. They had 5 total pressures by their defense. Only one guy had more than 1 pressure, and it was Bryce Huff with 2. So that backfired. Didn't create much pressure there. It's entirely not good enough. Do they push the envelope? Having a backup quarterback now in and really like having this attacking mindset because we have to create opportunities now. We have to create, chances for our offense. Do they get really blitz heavy? Do they get super, do they try some stuff to really like force the ball out of Stafford's hands? Because Stafford against the blitz this year is worse than when kept clean under the pocket, obviously because he's, an older player, so he wants to get rid of that ball and not get hit. So, always with these big underdogs, I want to try and attack how can the underdog win the game, and if the Niners generate real pressure and get off the field on big third downs, that's where I think they could win this game. So that's all for Thursday Night Football. Next, we will get into... Should we go in chronological order with these 3 games, or should we kind of... All right. Well, we'll get into Ryan's game, which was the 3-1 Buccaneers against the 3-1 Seahawks. I mean, this is my number 6 team and my number 5 team, so we're battling for top 5 in the conference. Set the stakes on the line. Lots of injury news from the Bucs side. Bucky Irving is in a walking boot. Mike Evans isn't practicing. Baker isn't practicing, which Baker, I think, seems to miss Wednesdays most of the time, so he should be fine. But 4 defensive backs, all DNPs, Christian Izzian, Benjamin Morrison, Jamel Dean, and Tyke Smith are all not practicing on Wednesday. Do all 4 of them play? It's hard to project at this point in time. And then the Seahawks have Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon popping up on there with DMPs, but those guys just played last Thursday, and so unless something got tweaked, those guys should still be out there.
I'll let Ryan take it away. This was his game.
Yeah, sorry, my PC just froze again. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Buccaneers Seahawks. I'm looking at that over under right now, 44.5. I'm taking the over every day of the week because of that. I, like you had said, anticipate Baker to play in this game. That one's going to be really fun. Just because I feel like Baker recently is, again, just like I said about Stafford, you can almost not count him out. He's able to kind of rally his guys around him and get down the field. Emeka Egbuka, man, I mean, just really, really good start to his rookie season. And, if one of these top 2 guys are out, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you know what I mean? You're going to expect him to go ahead and perform. Now, on the other side of things, JSN was silenced for the most part for that, for last week against the Cardinals. I don't anticipate that to be the situation, this week, because of what Matt had said with all of the injuries surrounding defensive backs. It's definitely something to kind of, keep track of. And then, obviously I'm just saying it's going to be a fun game to watch just because I think the pass game should be more involved this week. The Buccaneers, strictly because their guy in Bucky Irving is hurt. Rashad White has not really, performed very well in these increased, snaps. And then not to mention, the lack of defensive backs that they have healthy right now on their roster for that Seahawks offense to go ahead and attack. Sam Darnold hasn't looked bad. So, with that being said, I expect a very, high flying, high scoring, hopefully, matchup between this one. And it's just that fun to watch, good vibes meter is just going off the charts for me. So that's why it's my game of the week.
Yeah, no, I just think these, as Matt had said, 2 very evenly matched teams. We were all right there with each other when it came to how we were going to rank these teams when we just did the NFC power ranking. And I'm just interested to see what team comes out on top, and I'm interested to see how they're going to deploy JSN, as Ryan had said. They used him a lot on decoy stuff last week, and I'm interested to see if they can get him a little bit more involved earlier on in this game because they're going to need it.
You see what Darnold said in the post game? He was like, I saw one-on-one with my guy late in the game and just threw it up there. That's when you know you got something. And then to your point, Ryan, about the the passing game, both of these teams have elite run defenses, and I'm talking like top 5 in efficiency metrics. They're bottom 10 in rushing offenses, both of them. And you're telling me Bucky Irving also isn't going to play? So pretty interesting there with you bringing that up. But my matchup is the Bucs' right side of their offensive line, specifically their right guard and right tackle against the Seahawks defensive line. They're missing 2 starters in Cody Mauch and Luke Gadecki at right guard and right tackle, and now they face one of the best pressure rate teams when rushing only 4 because they have just so many bodies to just throw at the problem. DeMarcus Lawrence looks like he's probably going to be down. Well, that's fine. He's just been their worst pass rusher this season. So it's for most teams, losing DeMarcus Lawrence in the run game will hurt you. But when you have Derek Hall, who's really emerging as like one of the guys on this defense, especially as a pass rusher, Boye Mafe, we know what he is as a pass rusher, and Echeno Nwosu. And then you talk about the interior with Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy. It's going to be a long day, man. I think it could be a long day for this offensive line. I'm really excited to see this team go up against them and get this real deal challenge because in that first half against the Eagles, they kind of didn't rise up to it, but in the end they did. So interested to see how that trench warfare goes down. Do we have anything left on this one? No. Let's continue on in order. Let's get to Ben's game of the week. The Commanders travel out to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. This is interesting. Just throw out a little stat. Commanders are 0-2 on the road this year, and the Chargers are 2-0 at home. They have one of their wins in Brazil as a technical home game. Jaden Daniels is practicing and seems to be all the way back to playing. But Ben, what got you excited about this matchup?
Yeah, well, 2 things in particular. One a little bit more specific than the other. The more broad is just the quarterback battle. I mean, how could you not just sit down on your couch and want to see Justin Herbert and Jaden Daniels duel it out against each other? I mean, you'd be remiss to not say this is arguably the best quarterback battle that we will see all week this week. But more specifically, as you guys have heard, I'm very high on the Chargers, and I'm interested to see if it was a little blip in the radar against the Giants, or if this is going to be a little bit more status quo for them. And a lot of that stems from that offensive line question mark that Matt had poised. Again, you're out your 2 starting tackles, which is very, very concerning. Again, given Joe Alt will make his return later on in the season. But even if both of them were playing, you're playing against one of the fiercest pass rushers in all of the NFL when it comes to Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. So you were going to struggle regardless of if they were healthy or not. And the whole thing that we talked about with the Commanders was, well, do we really like their defense? And that's really going to be the key matchup for me in this game is this Chargers offensive line against the Commanders pass rush. And if they can keep Dorrance Armstrong in check, Preston Smith as well, but I think they can do that just fine. But can they keep these guys in check and keep Herbert clean? And I think if they can do that, they will probably come away from this game. But again, you never know when you have that action figure on the other side of the football that is Jaden Daniels. So I'm just excited to see these 2 teams play against each other.
Shout out the likely tackle in this game, Austin DeLucas, with a 24.8 pass blocking grade on PFF.
Ryan, your thoughts on the game?
I mean, just looking forward to seeing how the Chargers are with that O-line. That's really the most part. Other than that, Omarion Hampton, dude, oh my God, he's so good at football and so much fun to watch. I was trying to look up the Commanders injury report for this one. With that being said, I mean, with Jaden Daniels being okay, that's cool. I know Deebo Samuel did not participate in practice. Terry McLaurin did not either. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. I want to know like who's going to play
Is
in this
Terry
game.
not on IR yet? I thought he was going on IR.
No. So
That's
all
what I
three
was
of their
looking
starting
for.
all three of their starting wide receivers are questionable. And Terry McLaurin, Debo, and Noah Brown. And then on the defensive end of the football, really the only two players that are worth keeping an eye out for if they're going to play or not is Dorrance Armstrong and Mikey Sanders.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, Jaden can come back. That's awesome. He's a factor in itself. But like it helps to have those guys out on the field. And with Terry's injury as well, like I'm like, that's his number one guy. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to see how he responds to that because this Chargers defense really, really tough. So the over under set pretty high in my opinion. That's where I'll kind of leave it. I feel like it's gonna be low scoring.
I'm looking forward to QJ just dusting Marshawn Lattimore. I'm so excited for it. I am so excited for it. Marshawn Lattimore sucks. Sorry, Matt, but you guys moved off of him at the right time.
No, he has not been good. One last thing to hit on my matchup. Again, I mentioned them in the NFC power rankings. The Washington run game has been a revelation for this team for 2 weeks with Mariota having to be in there, and the Chargers' run D is kind of mid in comparison to their drop back stuff. So like their top 5 and the drop back EPA stuff and success rate, where in run D and success rate they're both around hovering 16 to 20th. So again, they're in that middle of the pack tier for the rush defense, and Washington as again top 5, and they're getting their more explosive runner back in Daniels, and they're going to continue to mix in the running backs that they have. And you think about last week, what did we say the key was to beating the Chargers was Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart being able to be an 11th man and having 10 men blocking to really like work in some of that quarterback run stuff. So obviously, Cliff's going to work that in. So again, I kind of agree with that low scoring thing, 48.5, because I think Washington's going to want to, ball control this thing just the way the Giants did. So that is all for Commanders and Chargers. Then we get into my game of the week, Monday Night Football, the Chiefs and the Jaguars. I am going to, this is 2 of my top 5 AFC teams right off the bat. It's Monday, or it's a Monday night game, so no injury reports right now, but I know Trayvon Walker looks like he's going to miss this week, being labeled as week to week after last week. I want to get straight into my matchup because this is why I picked it. The Jaguars' turnover creation against Kansas City's protection of the ball. Jacksonville leads the league in turnovers through 4 games with 13. That is a pace of almost 55, which won't happen, but what a crazy pace to have for a month. And it's winning them football games. It single-handedly won them the football game against San Francisco because of so many short fields. The only problem is now you're facing Kansas City, who has 1 total giveaway this season. It was the play in which, in the low red zone, hit Travis Kelce in the hands and bounced into Andrew Makuba's hands. So, again, that's the only turnover this entire season for this team. And so you look at like Jacksonville in terms of pressure rate and blitz rate, they're middle of the pack. So they're not really like a volatile defense. They kind of just do what they do. You know who else kind of does what they do? Baltimore. And we saw what the Chiefs did to that team. So again, I'm just interested to learn about Jacksonville, to learn if this turnover stuff is real and they can force, Mahomes to make mistakes that he just doesn't, or, the 9 interceptions against Bryce Young and Jake Browning and CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy, like, again, if that's what it is. So we're going to find out with Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm very, 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 very worried for Trevor Lawrence in this game. Again, I mean, that's been all the conversation surrounding Jacksonville throughout the first 4 weeks. And Trevor Lawrence has kind of been able to find his stride a little bit more, especially with Brian Thomas Jr. and his yips going away a little bit more than what they had in the past. But I just think he is going to struggle immensely in this game. I'm interested to see how he handles the blitz when Spags dials that up. He's kind of a mastermind when it comes to just dialing it up at the perfect time. So I'm just interested to see how Trevor Lawrence handles that. And then on the flip side of that too, Travis Hunter has finally found himself a good game for the first time in a long time. And I'm wondering if they can start incorporating him a little bit more into this offense. And I think if they can do that, I think they'll hopefully at least have a little bit of a battle. But I really do think the Chiefs are gonna run away with this one. But hey, well, you never know. Any given Monday, not even Sunday, any given Monday. But it's just gonna be interesting. The thing with the Jags too, last thing, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. And the one thing that we had talked about with the Jags is how good their run defense is, which is fantastic. But to me, it kind of nulls it out because the Chiefs are just bad at running the football to begin with. So it's not like this is like a huge plus that you have is like, oh, we're gonna be great on the run and we're gonna stop the run. Well, it's not like the Chiefs are relying on the run to begin with, because no matter what team they're gonna play, they're just gonna kind of suck running the football. But do you have any thoughts on the Chiefs specifically, Ryan? Because we know you love them.
I mean, I'm looking at this Jaguars team and I'm like trying to reflect a little bit. And the one thing I'm thinking about is like the Chiefs are going to find a way to win this football game. Like, let's just be honest here. They're going to find a way to win it, and it's going to annoy me. And I've seen this before. It's fine. Jaguars have played the Panthers, the Bengals, the Texans, and the Niners. Okay. Normally, I would say like, okay, decent schedule. I mean, you played the Bengals, you played the Texans, you played the 49ers. Not really. Not really. And you lost against the Bengals. And you beat the Texans.
A Jake Browning 90-yard drive is standing between them being 4-0.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's not great. It's kind of ugly. So, these next 3 games for the Jaguars are going to be very telling. They play the Chiefs, Seahawks, and Rams. And if they can squeeze, I would say 1 to 2 of these out, looking at a division winner, in my opinion.
Really?
So, fingers crossed. Yeah, I think so. Easily.
Colts?
I mean, I guess them or Indy, but I feel like Indy's got an inevitable collapse that's just bound to happen. I'm not trying to like root on their downfall by any means. Like I said, please, like Indianapolis, congratulations. Like you deserve this just as much as like Chicago would have. I'm rooting for them. We've been to Lucas Oil how many times within the past 4 years of this podcast? And it's like, how many sad Colts fans we walk by? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what kind of bust are we drafting this year? But it's like, dude, they found Daniel Jones, picked him up from free agency, and was like, great. Like, this is the quarterback we have to look forward to after the preseason. And the dude's balling out. Like, how can you root against that? So it's like, that's great. I'm anticipating a collapse, though. And when you do, I anticipate the Jaguars to be right there to kind of feast on, the bones and kind of take over that division. Because right now, Houston doesn't look that way. But regardless, this matchup, Jaguars, man, you got something to prove to me, and until then, we'll see what happens.
Did you have the Jags on your list?
On my what?
He did.
On my
He did.
I
He
did.
had the Jags at 5.
So you think the Chiefs are going to be
4.
the top 5 AFC team?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I know. Listen. I
know.
said
I did it. I was feeling frisky. All right.
No, it's fine.
Let's.
I said they're going to be on a list in the future. I'm sure of it. I
know.
I like them more now.
I teed it up. I teed up my own thing. That was a self alley. So call me Obi Toppin. Let's get into some pigskin pick'em. Let's pick some games, guys. We have some bye weeks, so we don't have a full 16. We're only gonna have 14 games, right? But what were the records from last week, Ryan?
Yeah, give me just a second. Okay, there we go. So this past week, Ben
Dude, I pissed my
won the
pants
week.
in the late slate.
Yeah, you
Ben
did.
went. So just to put this out here, we're not going to penalize each other for the tie that shouldn't have happened. I Green Bay's a bunch of losers for not going for it, in my opinion, but whatever. 12-3-1 for Ben. I went 10-5-1, and then Matt went 9-6-1. That brings the overall records to Ben at 47-16-1, Matt at 40-23-1, and me at 37-26-1. So I've already dug myself a 10-game deficit to the leader. Not great. But we've got time to collect ourselves, and we will be back. But yeah, not good for the boy. But Ben, hey,
chipping away. Just keep chipping.
Yeah.
Hey, you get 1 game here, 2 games there. That's what we're talking about here, boys.
Dude, this is the week to prove it. There are so many 3 or less spreads this week with just
Dude,
god awful
afternoon
games.
slate.
Someone's gonna have to watch Dolphins Panthers this week.
Yeah. I mean, Titans Cardinals, I would say, isn't even that great either. But anyways, yeah. Let's start off Thursday Night Football, 49ers Rams. I'm going to start with Ben, rotate to Matt, and then I'll give mine. We'll just kind of do this counterclockwise on your screen. Ben, what you got?
I wonder. I'm taking the Rams.
Matt?
This thing is popped up all the way to 8.5 since I I set it at 7. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams.
All right. Yeah, we've got the scroller now at the bottom. I also have the Rams. Jimbo popping in saying Puka. Yeah, good take. Vikings and Browns. I think we're all in consensus here, I would assume, right? I don't know.
Dylan Gabriel is starting.
This game sucks. I don't want to watch this. Is this in the UK or is this Germany?
This is a morning game?
As London.
London,
Oh my God.
UK. Yeah, it's good.
You got the Vikings score.
I'm gonna eat this game up. I have had
gonna hate
so
this
much
game.
fun watching Myles Garrett this year. I think if you had a draft right now for no positional value, he would go number 1. I think he's the best player in football.
Wow. I think he's number 2. But
Wow.
I
Get it? Because he plays for the Browns.
You're
number
not watching
2.
the Browns. That's why you're skipping these games. You're skipping opportunities.
Josh Allen would be number 1. Anyways, besides the point, I really hated taking this game, and I don't feel confident in
pick
either one here. Yeah, can I pick a tie?
That's fun.
I will.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna go the Vikings. I don't trust Dylan Gabriel a whole lot. I will go the Vikings, but I just really don't want to pick this game because Carson Wentz is just so bad at football.
Dude, how much cover 0 does Brian Flores run?
Right?
Did they just not have a good quarterback? Because that's funny.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Matt.
The Vikings or the Browns?
Yeah. Both teams, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
They traded away Sam Howell too.
I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah.
Sam
I'm
Howell,
also
okay.
going.
Yeah, Sam Howell's really bad.
I prefer Sam Howell over Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
They clearly
I
didn't.
would say they saw something, apparently. Texans, Ravens. Oh, I'm also going Vikings, by the way. I think I said that, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Texans, Ravens, Ben.
Give me the Texans.
Texans favored.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that's kind of telling you where they believe the status of the quarterback is.
Well, yeah, I mean, Lamar's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks. You listed all the injuries on the defense at the top of the show. I'm just going to assume C.J. Stroud is going to feast on this defense, even if he doesn't have an offensive line. Texans.
Matt?
Yeah, I hate picking this game. I'm going to pick the Texans just because the Ravens haven't shown me anything, and it's going to get better with a backup quarterback. But
Yeah.
Rush time.
Yeah, I'm going Texans as well. Giants, Saints. Ben?
Saints are favored. Saints are favored in this
They
game.
are.
For those who don't
and
know.
they should be.
Whoa.
You don't think so?
No.
I
I'm
think
going
so.
Giants.
Matt?
I'm gonna take the Saints.
Me too. Me too. Broncos, Eagles, Ben.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
I'm going Eagles as well. I hope they open up that playbook, man. If not, it's gonna be gross. Cowboys,
If not,
Jets.
we'll get another cryptic tweet from
Oh my god.
Dude, yeah. Yeah.
single-handedly keeping the diva wide receivers alive. That being said, I'm going Cowboys.
Matt?
Wait, this is Cowboys Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Give me the Cowboys.
You mean to tell me you guys aren't trusting Justin Fields? Me neither.
Electric
Cowboys.
run.
No, I'm trusting Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Raiders, Colts.
Yeah. Colts here as well.
Matt?
I hope this game is just awesome.
Me too.
I'm gonna take Colts.
You wanted to. We're all thinking the same thing. Colts
Yeah,
as
I
this
well.
is
was
the
not.
spot.
I
This
was
is the
not.
spot where it's like Gino just figures it out and has like 30 points on the board.
Yeah. Dolphins, Panthers. Do we have to pick this game?
I really don't
Damn
want
right we
to.
Panthers 1-0 at home, 30
Yeah.
nothing differential. I'm taking the Panthers.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take the Dolphins to disagree. Buccaneers, Seahawks. Fun one to pick.
Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, give me Seahawks.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Dang it. I was really hoping one of you would have gone Bucks because I went Seahawks as well. All right. Titans, Cardinals.
Give me the Titans. This is when they get it done. All right? This is where they find their groove. I don't know about finding their groove because I don't know if they'll win another game, but they will win this game. Give me the Titans.
Matt?
0 points gave you hope. I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals as well. Big Marvin Harrison Jr. game coming in. Commanders, Chargers.
Yeah, we're gonna treat him like an undrafted guy again. That was insane. I'm so
That
happy he
was
battled
absurd.
adversity.
Well,
Commanders, Chargers, Ben.
Commanders.
Chargers.
I'll go Chargers as well. All right. Lions, Bengals. I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I think you'd be right. Bills.
Dude, what if they
Unless Matt.
Lions,
huh?
Lions. Sorry,
what if they won?
that'd be great.
Lions.
That'd be awesome. Lions. Patriots, Bills. Can they get it done?
Okay, this game is not as it's not as cut and dry as I would have thought. I'm gonna go with the Bills as a cop out answer, but like Travion Henderson breakout game. Some are saying.
God, I hope so, man. Snap share is disgusting between these three. Why do you have
Patriots.
3 running backs? Patriots. Ooh. All right. Look at the nuts on this guy. All right, I'll go Bills. Chiefs, Jaguars.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah, I spoiled my pick as well. I'll go
The
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
All right, so that does it for Pigskin Pick'em for this week. And then moving into Pigskin Payout, I wanted to give you guys a fun fact. So like, it's funny that we keep doing this segment because I don't think we've had a parlay win. But stay with us, guys. One of these days, it'll be great. Because guess what? If JSN would have gotten 2 more yards on Thursday, Ben's parlay would have hit. He said over 80 yards just this past week. And Seahawks money line, Hampton 60+ rush yards, and then Saints alt line plus 17.5. And so, yeah, JSN finished with 78 receiving yards. So he was right there like I said, shut down for majority of the game. The second half really got him going. But yeah, rough one. I'm going to start us off like I always do with the anytime touchdown parlay. I'm picking 4 of them. I don't know if I picked 4 of them last week. Did I pick 4 of them?
You did.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. I do. Yeah, check that out. All right,
Trevor
cool. I got a
Etienne.
weekly thing going. Trevor Etienne. Yeah, that was definitely a good read by the guys to notice I meant Travis. Very tired, I guess, when I would have done that.
It was so close to hitting. It was so close.
Dude, believe it or not, yeah. I have for this week Saquon Barkley, Michael Pittman, Emeka Egbuka, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are my 4. And I'm telling you, if you're gonna bet that, also bet Jalen Hurts instead of Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
Scenes, I bet on Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown, and they did a what was it, like a fake out tush push and ran the ball with Saquon. It's like, go figure. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Saquon, Pittman, Ibuka, and St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Anytime touchdown scores. Ben, I will start with you for yours. Let Matt cook for a little bit longer here. What you got?
Yeah,
for us this week?
we looked for 2 spots where we could buy a little bit of points, or I guess lose a little bit of points, depending on what way you think about it. But I'm having the Eagles cover the 2.5 spread. The spread's originally 3.5, so I have them at least winning by a field goal. And then I have the Lions covering a 6.5 spread. As we said, it's 8.5, but I have them covering a touchdown. And then finally, I have the Buccaneers and Seahawks game going over 44.5. That brings your total to plus 358 with a payout of $22 if you bet 5. And I place that. It's in my slip. I have that slip. I'm confident it's gonna hit. This is.
Do we see it?
I wish.
Matt, what we got?
I got what is it? Fading the Browns under 16.5 is on here. I'm taking over 39.5 in Texans Ravens because I hate it so much. And then let's take Birds money line, and that plus 387. So that's a fun one.
You heard it here, guys. Eagles are gonna win. They're putting money on it, which means Broncos money line. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, it does it for Pigskin Payout. And then with that, I'm gonna leave the experts one more time with College Corner this week, and just kind of let you guys do your thing. So I will see you guys next week. Enjoy football for this weekend. Yeah, see you guys next Wednesday.
Hey, bye. But
leave.
Also,
yeah,
go Cubbies.
Dude, hopefully, you know how awesome it'd be if we could do like a Phillies Cubs NLCS and they just shock the Brewers. It's not going to happen. It's over. All right, I'm going to press the leave button and not the end stream button. So y'all have a good rest of the show, and I hope your parlay's hit. See you later.
See ya. All right. Now that the caller from Chicago is gone, we could dive into a little bit of college football here. We'll start it off where we do each and every week, kind of recapping everything of importance and of big news that had happened in college football. And I mean, where else would we start besides UVA? Absolutely stunning the Seminoles. And the first question I have for you, Matt, and I don't know if you can answer because you're not a doctor, but is Squirrel White dead? Are we sure he's not dead? Is he in Tallahassee? I need this to be confirmed because, my Lord, the way that they stormed that field, there's no way he didn't get trampled. But again,
they trampled their own guy too. One of the corners was on the ground.
I know. It was one of the craziest field storms that I've ever seen, simply because UVA does not have a fence on that back goal.
Yeah, it's a hill. It's the hill.
Yeah. Which is, I think, is hilarious. But in a game in which we were like, oh, like FSU to cover. I mean, their safety had left the game very early on because of the targeting call. Their center wasn't playing the game. They still found a way to win this game. Your thoughts on the game?
I mean, you don't see much like often when like your quarterback's able to turn the ball over 3 times and give favorable field position as much as he did in this game. Like both teams just toted the rock, 48 carries each. It's just fun. Like this game was so long ago. I'm trying to think back of it. The Deuce Robinson juggle. Like what was that? Like that. That's one of those like yeah. It's just not
Not your
happening
day,
tonight.
buddy.
But good lord, the Thomas Castellanos throw on that left sideline was miraculous. It was pretty awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, FSU. I mean, you had the look ahead spot. All you had to do was beat Virginia on a Friday night, and you had a top 10, top 8 clash with Miami, which now gets a little dampened.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think you said it. I just think they were too worried about looking ahead. Deuce Robinson was too worried about looking ahead to make that catch, and that was a beautiful throw.
Yeah.
And he still managed to bobble it and not catch it. And I will say I think it was the right call. I don't think he had his feet in bounds by the time he gained the possession. So good job, replay refs. Um, On to the next point. Lane Kiffin is able to get his last laugh, and he ends up beating LSU 24-19. LSU's offensive struggles continue to persist through the first 5 weeks. I keep saying to myself, it's only a matter of time until they can figure this out, until everything can start clicking. But now I am really, really worried that it's just not there. They will not be able to run the football. And again, it's only so long that you can hold out the hope until you just have to throw your hands up and say, well, that's not gonna happen. But it was a great game. And man, Trinidad Chambliss, he's so much fun to watch. I love watching Trinidad Chambliss, and his story is great too. And Lane Kiffin's tempo offense had Whitmeeks in hell. He was thrown up on the field. That was it's hilarious. But your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, there's just no hope for this team in talking LSU because it's like this was like my worst case scenario for them going into the year. Why I wasn't like, yep, I had them missing the playoffs and kind of had it confidently, is because they had 4 NFL drafted players along the offensive line last year. They were dead last in rush yards per game in the SEC last year. And so, let's take away 4 NFL caliber players and drop, a few transfers and some, sophomores in there. And hopefully it's better. And it's just not. It's really, really bad. Nuss looks hurt. Like, Nuss looks bad. Aaron Anderson had to leave this game. The receiver depth just isn't there. Like, Barry and Brown, clearly just a gadget guy, nothing else. Nick Anderson, he had that crazy tip catch in the end zone, but outside of that, he's been a non-factor this season. It's just feels like they swung on the defense in the portal and just won everything, where on the offensive side of the ball, didn't win any of these. So, again, like, and then for Ole Miss, I mean, what is it? Who's the Penn State transfer receiver? Harrison Wallace. Like, dude, he's really good. I can't, but like, he might be. What if he's better than all the other Penn State receivers? That'd be fun discourse. But yeah, I mean, Chambliss came to play. Obviously, he still continues to be the correct start, just because of what he adds. He's just so chaotic. He's just a chaos creator. Overall, like he would have some throws that would be dimes 20 yards down the field, and sometimes it would be like just brutal misses. But overall, they were able to run the ball when needed to really seal this deal.
Absolutely. I mean, the run game was the difference in this game.
Yeah.
Moving on. Oregon beats Penn State in a double overtime where Drew Allard throws the game-losing interception on the very first play on offense for them. It's just hard for me to not laugh. I mean, the jokes when it comes to Penn State continue to write themselves, especially with James Franklin. I mean, this would have been the game for them to win with the wideout and everything going for them, and how good their running back duo is back there. But
who was terrible? They were terrible in this game.
Oregon, well, they were bad, but Oregon's defensive line and front seven had them in hell. And I know that was like our question going into the game is like, oh, they had all these guys drafted. How are they going to hold up? They held up just fine. They held up better than what they did last year. I was very, very impressed with that front seven of Oregon the entire game. And Dante Moore made plays when it mattered the most, outside of him just not knowing where the first down marker is when it's time for him to slide. But outside of that, he looked fantastic in this game. So,
yeah, what was it? That first touchdown drive for Oregon. That ending was. Do you think that was a fumble? That blade of grass that like kicked up.
no.
What was it? I think it was Noah Whittington. I thought it was a fumble. I don't know how I don't know how they keep overturning everything. Like maybe it's maybe it's the college football, but like the NFL, if I see a 50-50, it's always like just keep it. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean that one looked as close as it gets, and they overturned it, and Oregon scores on that drive. But you mentioned Aller, man. It's just never gonna happen. It's at the point where the Penn State fans are staring in their mirror, saying like, "This is Hackenberg," and we let McSorley go, and Pribula going to Mizzou, who's killing it right now. So maybe not, but I don't know. It's just. I don't think it's just not going to happen with Aller at this point. It's
no, it's not. It's again, everyone was hoping, it's senior quarterback. He's going to be able to put all these Tracy tools that he has together into this year, and he looks even worse.
Dude, he's going to be one of those highlight quarterbacks that like people who don't watch college football are just going to look up like a 10-minute highlight video of Drew Aller and be like, "Holy cow, man, this guy can really rip it." And then you realize like. He's just not aggressive downfield at all. He just doesn't have read feel at all. But man, did he have that throw when they were down 14.
Yeah. Well, moving on to a game that I'm not too excited to talk about because we were both incredibly wrong about. We told everyone to take the alt line on Georgia, and then Kirby Smart could finally go ahead and beat Georgia, or finally go ahead and beat Alabama, and it's gonna be great. And well, that's what happens when we're both on the same page, right? Bama ends up beating Georgia in a very close game, 24-21, a game in which no points were scored in the final quarter. Not even a field goal. And Gunnar Stockton. He's chaotic. That's good. But I'm just not super sold on him yet. Because when you actually ask him to sit down, you have to say, hey, this is on you. We need to go down the field and score and get the points. He just wasn't really able to do it, and that's really my big concern when it comes to Georgia. As fun as he is to watch, I just don't know if he has it in him to be able to score and make the big plays when it really matters the most. And then on the flip side of that, I mean, Ty Simpson, he's kind of catching his stride a little bit, which is good for him, as he should, with him being in that program as long as he has been. But overall, it was a very, very fun game. Nowhere close to the game that we had seen last year with the back and forth of it all, but still a very, very fun game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, DeBoer being able to have another card on his he just wins these games. Like he's never lost to Dan Lanning. He beat Sark twice in two separate occasions, and now he's beat Kirby twice. Like I don't understand how they weren't up for the FSU games still to this day because of the way Castellanos talked about them. But clearly they've turned over that leaf. Clearly that thing is just in the past. He's just incredible. Like being able to start the game, 8 for 8 on third downs, just be this brutally efficient offense, have 2 14-play drives to start the game against Kirby Smart. And then the flip side with Georgia, like Georgia just they don't have it on the defensive line, and maybe that's they don't have 3 NFL players on their defensive line kind of problem, but it's really noticeable. They again didn't get another sack in this game. We talked about the defensive line going into this. It's just overall it's the line of scrimmage stuff is really going to determine this conference and determine how it separates. And I'll say this, like watching this game specifically, if Texas isn't playing in the SEC championship, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Because this Texas's defensive line would have eaten either one of these two teams up. I am
Absolutely.
sure of it.
Absolutely. And I will say that screen pass to Ken Proctor, that was that was fun.
Which apparently was like a reward. Which he was on a diet plan. And
oh, really?
Him reaching the diet goal was getting that play, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Also, Ryan Williams, the ticky tack of this game is like Ryan Williams drops a sure touchdown on the first drive, and then who was it? The freshman receiver for Georgia, I forget his name. He dropped a touchdown later in the game, and so it was like, well, give and take.
Yes, exactly. All right, moving on. We got final 2 points here. Illinois barely squeaks out a victory against USC, and they really tried to give this one. They tried their best to let USC win this game. They really did not want to win this. That fumble on the goal line, at that point, I'm like, well, this game is over. USC's going to chew out the clock and go down and hit the field, not the field goal, the touchdown, which they did, but they left a little bit too much time on the board there. This defense continues to look really, really shaky when they actually play against a team that has a formidable offense. Just something to keep an eye out, but it's another feather in the cap for Illinois being able to say, hey, we got a ranked win, and that, bumped them up just a little bit in the polls this week. And they did look better in totality on defense and on offense in this game compared to what they did just 2 weeks ago. But I don't know, how much did you watch of this game?
Dude, I was just zeroed in on number 6. I was zeroed in on Makai Lemon. I think that guy's been insane the last 2 weeks. And then Wayman Jordan, their running back. I love this USC offense. I said it going into it. The defense, again, is just going to get them in trouble, and they're probably not going to be like a top 25 team the rest of the season. But just, I mean, this offense, I love watching them, and they can really put up points against anybody. I believe that. But yeah, Altmaier just having enough. I thought they ran the ball really, really well. Just overall, outside of that fumble you talked about, and then the one in the low red zone that looked like he was down, but again, they kept it. But yeah, overall, Illinois survives a game. Well, not really survives. They upset.
Yeah, exactly. And man, Makai Lemon for
which
dude
that line being 6.5 was crazy.
Yeah. For Makai Lemon to be 5'11", he plays football like he's 6'5". My lord, he is not scared to attack the ball.
Yeah, those backup DBs were showing.
Yes, they were. And then moving on to the final point, I had to throw this in here because of you, and I apologize. I didn't watch this game literally at all, so I can't really talk too much about it. But Virginia Tech, they get an upset. They're winning games after firing their head coach. They end up going in there and beating the Wolfpack, Matt's NC State. How are you feeling after watching that game? I don't know if you watched it, but after seeing that.
Well, I'm trying to like there was just so many sporadic misses from Bailey.
Yeah.
Overall, like I couldn't. The defense just felt like there was no pop to it. Um, what was it? They were outgained by like 100 yards in this one.
Oh, God.
Smothers didn't have like his traditional monster game. They had an opportunity late in this one to go down and what was it? Win it because you're down by 2. You have that opportunity, but went for it on like a 4th and 1. Ran a little out to Jolie and incomplete, but it was just overall it was like Virginia Tech kind of hit their explosives when needed and took that lead. What was it? Later in the 4th quarter and they just held it. They held it and squeezed.
Yep.
It was kind of crazy.
Yep. Oh, and then one more final thing before I turn it over to you. Georgia Tech, they 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 ended
Guess
up
who
winning
went
the
up
game.
in the polls this week?
Oh God, who?
Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Oh no, wait. Never mind. They went down 1.
Yeah. No. Well, that's to be surprised. They narrowly beat Wake Forest in overtime in a game that they probably should have absolutely destroyed them in. At the end of the day, they get another number in the win column, so all is well. But again, in a game that they should have absolutely dominated Wake Forest in, they did not. And it's just a little bit scary, but I don't think it's something to worry too much about. Yeah, every team has, their off days, their off games. And again, what matters is they left that place with a win. So I don't know if you watched that or had a chance to watch that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just their play style is just going to like bring these games into it. I think this is just going to be way of life for them that they got to outgrit the opponent every week, and they can most weeks, but it's like I'm so they're gonna be 7-1 in the conference. Like I'm thinking like if you look at the schedule right now, they don't have another ranked opponent on schedule until Georgia. So no ranked ACC opponents, and Clemson's not going to finish ranked. So you're going to have there's a good possibility you're not going to have a single top 25 win the entire year, and like say they lose one of they lose one of the ACC games, they're still going to be 7-1 and make the title game. But like your reward is, hey, let's get stomped by Miami. Like at that point. But they have had Miami's number. I should say that, but I don't know.
Did last year.
Yeah, and they were the team that was a part of the Mario like kneel out the ball where he ran another play and could have kneeled it. And what was it? They went down and scored. So the last 2 years, Georgia Tech has like these crazy meaningful wins against Miami. But yeah, I'm. Again, they are the team to look at. Like it's like who's the playoff team to really look at. It's Georgia Tech, so like you said, every win matters.
I agree. Any games that I left off, or before we let you take it over to the schedule for the coming Saturday?
The Buckeyes. The Buckeyes beating Washington and Washington not scoring a single offensive touchdown after having 17 straight drives of scoring drives. Going into that one, that's the best team in the country, and I get it.
Yes.
Like people are gonna, I understand like the Oregon argument because you're arguing the resume, but what Ohio State has done in 4 weeks of football, it's been like suffocating football. Like they're by far my championship favorite right now. Mississippi State kept it close, almost became a 5-0 football team against Tennessee. Some little bounces go their way. They are, but those bounces don't go their way. And then lastly, Rutgers in Minnesota was awesome. I'm fascinated by their quarterback. I'm fascinated by Minnesota's quarterback, Drake Lindsey, just because of like the ability he showed in that game, and knowing Minnesota's offense is uber pro style, like a lot of 12 personnel stuff. Just fascinated to see how he grows because he's redshirt freshman and he's got some talent in there. But looking through here, I mean, Utah gets back in the win column, decimates West Virginia. Northwestern beat UCLA, so who's the worst in the Big Ten is solidified. And Memphis won again. So
Yeah. Well, there you have it. If we want to swing it over to the upcoming games, that being said, still a fine slate. Still a slate to get excited about.
It's still a Saturday.
Exactly. It's still a Saturday that college football is getting played on. Not quite the slate that we've had the past 2 weeks, but still a Saturday.
Yeah, it's not going to match last week. It is no September 27th. Just having those two colossal games, but you start with the number one game of the week, the night game. Miami travels to Tallahassee in. Let me look it up. I want to say this is the first top 25 matchup between the two in like almost a decade.
Oh wow!
We'll see.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Like it, which is like crazy because you think of like I knowing the lore of the 90s, like this was a game that the last time this game featured both teams with funny numbers next to their name was 2016, in which Florida State won 20-19. So yeah, it's again, these could have been funnier numbers if Florida State, finishes the job against Virginia, but there's something about Florida State being able to answer the bell against Bama that, again, I think they're just going to be so up for this. Like, I think Malzahn is really going to do some weird stuff to get away from this defensive line because I think that is where the deficiency is. Like, across both lines of scrimmage, I think Miami could bully this game, and I'm like, Miami's going to win by like 20. But the other part of me is like, FSU is going to do some weird stuff. I like their skill players. Deuce Robinson has a game that he has. You can attack the Miami secondary when given that opportunity in one-on-one stuff down the field with a guy like with Robinson. But overall, it again, all their games, Florida State games, fall on: are we getting good Tommy or are we getting bad Tommy?
Yeah, I think you touched on the main thing that I really wanted to was just how outmatched I think that Florida State offensive line is going to be against this Miami defensive line. I think Ruben Baines is going to feast this game. I mean, it's easy to say because Ruben Bain will probably. We're 5 weeks into the season, but I think Ruben Bain, as of right now, is probably the best defensive lineman in the entire college football. And because of that, I really do think he's going to feast in this game. But as you said, I think if they're able to buy a little bit of time and they're able to let I almost said Nick Castellanos, let Thomas Castellanos, kind of work his magic, I think they could stay in this game. That being said, I'm gonna take Miami to outright cover the 4.5 points.
Also, just note, like, this is Miami's first road game, and it's like this isn't a fun environment to walk into, especially with the rivalry stakes involved. I'm going to take Miami to win. I'm going to take Florida State to cover. I think this is a game that Florida State stays in. They just hang in there, and maybe you get like a little backdoor. Who knows? But I'm taking the points. Then we move on to where game day is going, in which one of these two teams is undefeated, and it ain't Alabama. Vanderbilt, number 16 Vanderbilt travels to Tuscaloosa to face Alabama. 10.5 points, over under a 55.5. Ben, so I did this for this game specifically. Both of these quarterbacks are in my top 5 in the country right now.
Top 5 in the country.
Yes. Like win a football game. Like win a pick'em football game on a neutral field. Like both of these guys are on that list. Moore is on this list. And then we get tricky. But
Pavia is not the one I'll push back on you on. Which is like weird to say that I'm not worried about the Vanderbilt quarterback, and I'm worried about the Alabama quarterback. To be clear, I'm not worried about Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is a fine football player. That being said, it's hard for me to say top 5. Oh gosh, now I kind of want to do this right now. If we're talking about right now, fully healthy, for me, it is John Mateer. I know that just boils your.
No, he would be there.
That. Yeah. For me, it without a doubt, it is. Ty Simpson might be here. It is for me. Ty Simpson again, fully healthy. Not Ty Simpson. It's John Mateer, Diego Pavia. I know you disagree with this. Nuss and Dante Moore. Like those 4, without a doubt, for me, and I know you wince hearing me putting Nuss in front of him, but those 4, without a doubt, like I'm taking him over Ty Simpson. Then you can start having the conversation. Would you rather have Ty Simpson over Carson Beck? Would you rather have Ty Simpson over Fernando Mendoza? And I think those would probably be the 2 that I would push back on. Maybe Bo Pabula. But those would be kind of the 3 other guys that I think I'd push back on. But I do see where you're coming from. It's going to be a great quarterback battle in this game.
Yeah, and you don't think it's supposed to be when Vanderbilt travels to Alabama.
This is so tough because Vanderbilt has been so much fun to watch, and Vanderbilt has proven that they can beat a better Alabama team at that before. But it's so hard because Alabama just at every single facet outside of the quarterback and tight end position just by far and away is better in terms of players. But hey, Diego Pavia has done it before. Who's to say he can't do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to see how the ball control is. If this team can like stay on the field because they're going to get 3rd and 4s because they did last year. If they can stay on the field for those high leverage downs again, like they're absolutely going to cover this number and like threaten to win. But it's so hard to project like, hey, these high leverage moments, Vandy's going to be better than Alabama a week after Alabama's 13 for 19 against Georgia in Athens. It's just hard to project that, and then, oh, by the way, like Alabama has the talent advantage. I don't think this is going to be like a drubbing. I feel like a lot of people want to believe like, oh, with the Bama revenge game, they're going to win by 30, and maybe because I am reading it differently, that's what's going to happen, as that seems to be the season for me. But yeah, I'm going to take, again, I think 10 points is a lot. I lean the under more so than anything else because
yeah.
Either you're getting a drubbing and Vandy just cannot move the ball, or you're getting Vandy ball control, 7-minute drives, sometimes ending in field goals, like, and you just watch time melt. Like I like the under, which I think is still going up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. I think the under. I mean, if you so choose to bet on this game, which I would not recommend. I think you're spot on there. I think the under's probably the best bet of any of the props that you're going to get for the entire game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take Bama.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Bama, but the Commodores to cover.
Come on, Vandy. Come on. If we could clip
Please.
one off Alabama, that'd be pretty crazy. Where would Vanderbilt? Because you have to have this conversation. Where would Vanderbilt be ranked if they win this game?
Definitely top 10. Uh, probably 8 or 9 would be my guess.
Oklahoma is 5th. They are playing without their starting quarterback against Kent State.
They're gonna beat Kent State though.
I'm just saying, like, if Vandy wins, you just watched Ole Miss jump Oklahoma because of a massive win, which theoretically might not be a massive win against LSU. I'm just asking. I think they'd be 5th.
That's fair. No, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's where I'm like Vandy top 5 agenda. If they win this game, people are going to skyrocket them. It's been far too long, Ben. Far too long. Let's talk about my Texas Longhorns. They
Talk about
travel.
one of the worst 2 quarterbacks in the SEC.
It might be. It might be. They travel to Gainesville, Florida. Does Florida have any fight left? Florida officially hit they're at the 4-game mark, so interested to see if what is it? If this is a Napier game to keep an eye
That's what I
out.
was gonna say,
Is
yeah.
there a Napier this is embarrassing. I don't know. This is again Texas has been in the spot. They went on the road against Ohio State and hung around. Like that I'm not worried about this defense. I'm not worried about Florida scoring 20 points. I'm really not.
No.
I just need to see this. I need to see this quarterback perform. I need it because we're a week away from the Red River. I can't be going into that game saying, "Hey, we definitely have the worst quarterback, and Michael Hawkins is going to play." It's just, I got to see it. I think this is again. I stand by the SEC statement that I made, where it's like I think this line of scrimmage is just so dominant in the conference that doesn't feel dominant on the line of scrimmage this year. That if they're not playing in Atlanta, that's a disappointment. This defensive front is just ridiculous, man. I'm excited to see them off a bye, just wreaking havoc and playing that point total down. Look at that. Over under is 41.5. So Vegas is telling you what they believe about what Florida can do in this game, even at home. So, but from an unbiased perspective, what do you see in this game?
No, unbiasedly, I think you absolutely did your best. Texas defense will absolutely keep DJ Lagway in check.
Yeah.
We've seen every defense that he has played all season long do the exact same thing, and Texas is the best defense that he will have played thus far throughout the season. Again, really the big thing, you touched on it for me, is can Arch build off of the Sam Houston game? He played well, and we were finally like, oh, okay, Arch is finally looking well. And then he went straight into a bye week, which in some ways could absolutely be beneficial. There was question marks about whether or not he was hurt. So maybe it gives him another week of being healthy, but also it gives you a week removed from your best performance that you've had. But I do think him going into the bye week when he did was going to be helpful because he can sit down, look at the tape, and say, hey, this is what I did well. Let's translate this against Power 4 competition. And I do think, and maybe this is me just being optimistic, I do think this is the game that we finally can be like, hey, he can get it done against Power 4 talent. And then it'll make for a great game next week. And there's plenty of great games next week, but we'll save that for next week.
Yeah, it was finally, I get it, Sam Houston, but it was finally good to see the ball downfield, accurate. And we talked about it, the flexing over
I
the
hated
defensive
it.
back. I know you did, but when you think I'm doing it again, I'm defending my guy here, but like when you put in his head, like all this kid has been like he's been decimated in the media for 3 to 4 weeks by people who don't even watch the sport, who don't care about the sport. They just care about his last name and that he's not that good right now. For him to finally like let loose and like have a moment where it's like, hell yeah, like I was pumped for it. I loved it because if he is Markel Fultz, if he is Ben Simmons, for him to have a confidence moment, that's important. So that's just what I wanted to shout out. And then my last game, just sifting through. Again, this is also at the 2:30 window as Texas and Vandy are, but you got the multi-view. I threw Washington and Maryland in here as one of my games I wanted to talk about just because I'm just enjoying both of these quarterbacks. I want to see Washington, what they have on a bounce-back game against Maryland, like traveling across the country. I think that offense is still really, really good. You ran into a buzzsaw in the number one team in the country. That's what happens. How do you respond to it? And Maryland, they're 4-0. They bludgeoned Wisconsin. They're coming off a bye. Malik Washington, their true freshman quarterback, looks to be like an actual guy. Like he's just one of those college quarterbacks that he just creates chaos and everything around him ensues. It's just, are you going to be good chaos or bad chaos? And for 4 weeks, he's been good chaos. With 3 of those games being auto wins, pretty much. But like, I'm just interested to see more of these two quarterbacks that we don't have a lot of sample on that I enjoy already. So that's why I threw this game in, just because there's nothing really in the top 25 slate that's, tickling me too much. I could I'll run through my notables real quick. I'll skip over the game on Big Noon so you can talk about that. But like Georgia, Kentucky, Georgia at home. The Illini traveled to Purdue, which, by the way, respect over because that was the game last year that was like 49-50. Remember when they went to like 4 overtimes? So that's a respect over this weekend. What is it? We have Air Force and Navy, so that's a battle for which the Armed Forces Cup, whatever that is. Notre Dame gets Boise. Like the 2:30 slate is incredible. Like there's so many games. Boise, Notre Dame, Virginia's ranked. They go to Louisville. So that's another one to just like keep an eye on. Like, hey, what if Virginia wins again? And then the night slate, like I talked about Minnesota, kind of like Minnesota. They traveled to Ohio State. So don't like them as much in that spot. And then Mississippi State coming in against A&M and Duke Cal at 9:30. Always got to mention one of those super duper late games that we're just gonna be sickos over. But
no,
Ben,
those late games. Yeah, those late games are just fantastic. The night is winding down. Whether you're a person that loves to spend the day out on the town or you're someone that likes to hang out and watch college football, it is always just a fun little recap. You just gonna come home, kick your feet up, and say, who's playing football tonight? Yeah, there are two games that you had left off that I think are worth mentioning. I'll kind of quickly go through the first one. Clemson versus North Carolina. More so because it's Chapel Bill and the burning trash fire that is Clemson. And like, how funny would it be if they can actually get this win against Clemson? Like, again, we already know Clemson's done for the season, but if Chapel Bill and UNC can get it done, then it is over. Sorry, I don't. Dabo, you should just be fired and leave right there on the spot. You can't do it anymore. And then the other one, right where Big Noon is playing, as you had mentioned, Wisconsin at Michigan. Going into the season, I was kind of hoping that this game might have been a ranked matchup. It was a glimmer of hope. It was a
major
glimmer
wishful
of
thinking.
hope. Yeah, because Fickle is he sure does not know
They
how
also
to get
had
those
the
boys
Bama
to rally.
game.
Yes. But it's just going to be fun to see Bryce against another Power 4 Big Ten team And I could be wrong. It's still a little bit up in the air, but let me see. I was gonna say I think Billy Edwards might actually be the starting quarterback, and he might be back, but it doesn't look like uh that will happen. So don't quote me on that. But Billy Edwards might play, and if he does play, I think it makes the game very, very interesting. If not, it won't be close. They'll just run the ball down the throats of Wisconsin, and there won't be anything that they can do about it because these guys just do not want to play football for Luke Fickell. He will not have a job come season end. But that's kind of all the games that I had in mind. You took the other ones that I wanted to talk about. The main one that I wanted to talk about right there was your armed forces game. And then the last one is K-State versus Baylor. Just a matchup of two fun quarterbacks, I'll say. I don't know if I necessarily want to go to the point where I say good quarterbacks, but two fun quarterbacks.
Leading the country in pass yards.
That's what I'm saying. Sawyer Robinson, he's fun, and then
Avery Johnson's bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say then there's Avery Johnson, who's fun but not necessarily good. But that is your week 6 of college football. That being said, again, next week. Whew, we got some I don't want to look ahead because there's still a Saturday, but next week is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Any more things before I shout out our sponsors and end this thing here?
Pittman getting fired at Arkansas. Again, another job opens up in the P4. Again, you talked about Fickell. Fickell's going to be fired. One of Napier or Freeze are going to be fired, if not both. So, after last year, having the big job be like, it was North Carolina, it truly was, and like West Virginia was out there and things like that. We're gonna have a ton of jobs that have like real appeal. Arkansas might not be one of them, just because it's. Do they like? I just don't think they pay for football anymore. I don't think they do it anymore. I think they're done with that. I think because they got Cal in basketball, so they're whatever. But they upgraded Bobby Petrino, who if you haven't seen the motorcycle press conference, go watch it. It's kind of ludicrous. It's why you root yourself in college football, because you get those moments that of like, wait, this is a real thing that's happening, and it was. So interested in how that's, which also he like fired the defensive coordinator. That was him. Like he got the interim head coaching job and like fired the DC and like 2 assistants, which is just insane but hilarious. So excited to see. Does Arkansas win an SEC game? I don't know. It'll be fun to find out, right? Like,
I don't know, Jim.
But that was one I wanted to hit on. Just hitting on that an SEC job is open, and it was open before Florida.
Yeah, and to your point, when we had talked about Texas, I really think if Texas beats down on Florida as bad as I think they're going to, I'd be shocked if Billy Napier lives to coach another week there. He's waiting on the clock to tick out at this point there in Florida. So, and it'll be a high-profile job.
To see if Lagway plays, because
walking the boot.
Again, he should play. He should play, but if he so this is just college football. This is like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it could. I've seen the idea floated, and I've had the idea as well. If Lagway does not play in this game, he will only be at 4 games. He will still be eligible for his red shirt. If they get if there was a world where he can't play in this game, they get killed because he doesn't play in the game, and Napier gets fired, I'm just interested in it. What if, Friday
Ooh.
pops up, it's like, oh, my foot's, foot sprain, and then he's like, I'm going to go to Baylor next year. Like, I don't know. It's
Go to
interesting.
Baylor.
He's a Texas kid, so I just assume Texas Tech, or I just assume like Texas school, Big 12, he's going to play next year. Because I don't think he stays at Florida. I could be wrong. Absolutely could be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm set at. It'd be interesting to see how that whole, thing transpires. But if he plays, then he's locked into the season. And so that again, that is why the Pittman firing is so why it's so expected is because Arkansas has played 5 games and guys who played 5 games cannot redshirt anymore. So where the other ones were so confusing. So yeah, we've rambled long enough, over 2 hours. Did not expect that one to happen. Oh wait,
The debate. They got heated. A lot of fun times. A lot of fun moments on the episode this week. Yes. Oh wait. Matt didn't have to go to work, so we could yap as long as we wanted to. That being said, thank you to our sponsors, Regional Radio Sports, Uppercuts Grooming, and Spotify for Podcasters. We will see you guys on Monday for the recap show, and you guys have a good weekend of football.